What's up, guys? Just wanted to show off my RDA deck using some brand new cards and a little bit of twists in the combos. We are playing a pretty pure version with a hint of Bestial, but so we're going to use that Resonator call to search out for our Synchron Resonator. Our opponent does have the Ghost Bell, unfortunately, but we do have the Soul in rotation, so we're looking good. Soul is going to use his effect to get ourselves our bone, and he's also going to take advantage of us activating effect to have his Haveness on the field. He does not get any good mills. We're going to have bone discarding the branded beast, and we're going to switch our level to 3 by sending that Crimson. Now we're in a really good spot here going into Red Rising to special summon the Crimson Dragon. With Crimson Dragon, we'll be able to special summon 2, a Vision plus a Soul. I'm going to use Synchron Resonator from hand now, and we're going to bring ourselves out Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Now Vision's also going to get us access to our Red Zone trap card, and we're going to set the trap and also go into a 9 here. We get out our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. We're going to use Scarred Effect and Synchron Effect to recycle a Vision. Now we're going to bring ourselves out the Vision to hand, as well as the Crimson, the RDA from the Scarred Effect. Now we're still in a really good option here because we have 8 plus 2 on the field, so we're going to get into our Hot Red Archfiend or Bane. Use Hot Red Archfiend Bane effect to bring out the Scarred to use the Vision. So we're in a really good spot. We have Red Dragon Archfiend Bane, our Hot Red Archfiend Abyss, and a Bestial Dispatter with the Red Zone and Imperm set. Now, my opponent has 4 cards in hand. He's going to set 1. He's going to use his effect to fusion summon 4 cards and Harpy Feather Dust us. He honestly had the perfect opening and counter for us, which is pretty insane. Now going to battle, he's going to make us take 4100. No card set. We have Bone Archfiend Engrave, which is really good, and Bestial Lobellion's a really good mill to get off the top. We get Bestial Magna Hut, and we use his effect to bring himself out. We're gonna get that ad, get the Bestial Lobellion onto the field, use the effect of Branded Regain. We're gonna tribute the Lobellion to get the Bone Archfiend now. Use the effect of Vision to send itself to get us access to the Crimson Gaia. We're gonna use Crimson Gaia to bring out a tuner, which we're gonna choose Soul Resonator. Normal summon Soul. We're gonna get access to Obsessive Oogaloop. We're gonna go into a 6 here. Bring our Red Rising out to play. Red Rising effect to get the Crimson. Use the Crimson effect to special summon 1. Use the effect of Red Rising to banish to draw a card. We're in a really good spot here. We're going to go into our 8, which is going to be our Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. And we're going to destroy as many monsters on the field as possible, triggering the effect of Crimson Gaia. Also triggering his fusion effect, but that's fine. Using the Fallen of Halbaz, he's going to go into the Lobellion, the Sealing Dragon. We're going to use Crimson Gaia to bring out RDA. And we're going to use the effect of Branded Regain to bring out the Bestial Dispatter. Bestial Dispatter is going to bring back the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. And we're going to go to battle here using the Crimson Gaia to flip that monster into face down defense position, but destroy it with the RDA. Having lethal on board, finishing the game. A pretty impressive comeback for the complete board wipe my opponent had. Alright, going first, we open up the Stone Sweeper as well as Crimson Gaia. We're in a really good spot starting off. We're going to get the Vision into our hands, open up with the Branded Regain, use that Crimson Gaia to get ourselves Soul. Soul's going to activate, getting ourselves Bone. Bone's going to activate by discarding the Crimson. We're going to use the effect of Bone to send Obsessive Oogaloop to turn him into a 6. We're going to get Red Rising out here. Pretty smooth operations so far. Red Rising is going to bring out Crimson. Crimson effect's going to bring out a good amount of monsters. Our opponent does have the Ash Blossom, which is unfortunate, but luckily for us, we did open up really well. So we have Vision here. We're going to go Vision plus, or Red Rising plus Crimson to go into our Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Scarred plus Vision to get ourselves our Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. We're going to use Vision Effect as well as Scarred Effect to get ourselves out 2 monsters. Scarred's going to bring an RDA from the extra deck, and Vision is going to bring our Speller Trap. The one we're going to choose is the Red Zone since the Crimson guy is already in rotation. Tributing the Red Dragon Archfiend to bring out the Scarred. So our Trap card is online. We're going to banish our Red Rising to activate Branded Regain to draw a card. We're going to set 2. We're going to activate Vision. And we're going to use Obsessive Oogaloop to banish that RDA to go into a 10 here. The 10 of choice is Bestial Dispatter, since we already have our Archfiend Bane out. And we're going to bring back Vision in defense mode and end our turn. We're leaving a lot of interaction here since we control our RDA monster, as well as since we have Branded Beast in rotation. Our opponent has Super Poly, discarding the Regeki to out our Bestial Dispatter and our Archfiend Bane, getting himself a fusion monster. We're going to use Branded Regain to get ourselves Druis Worm. Our opponent has has a Bestial Dispatter on field ready to go. So we're still in a really good spot here. We're banishing, he's going to activate that. He's also going to destroy all special summon monsters we control. We're going to get ourselves our Druis Worm back into the extra deck, or back into the deck. We drew Cross out, not a bad card. And also that Scarred is going to trigger the effect of Vision and are getting ourselves out multiple dragons. So we're still in a really good spot. He still really hasn't even broke a wall. He kind of just resurfaced a lot of our interruptions that we didn't necessarily need to use. So we're controlling 2 level 8s, RDA and Scarred Dragon. My opponent has Branded Regain now. He's going to use that to trigger Lubellion. Lubellion is going to get him access to Branded Beast. He's going to pop our Scarred Dragon Archfiend set 1. He's going to trigger our trigger. We're going to trigger Red Zone with RDA. And he's going to bring himself back his Lubellion. Kind of just recycling his resources. I'm still not officially worried. We draw for turn Resonator Call, which is a really good draw. We're going to get our Obsessive Oogaloop into rotation. And he's going to use Bestial Druis Worm to banish our guy. Luckily for us, we do have the Cross out. He's also going to get rid of our Red Zone. We're going to use Red Zone to pop his Branded Beast, so our Red Zone will live. Honestly, just a lot of interaction summoned up. We take the really good plays out of that. A lot of his plays were negated, and Red Zone's going to trigger to get ourselves our effect. We were just waiting on that Branded Regain to trigger, so it will end up in our favor. Now you'll be able to add a card, and we're going to banish or return our banished Druis Worm to destroy the Magna Hut. I'm not really worried about him getting a card. I'm more worried about board presence, and that lets me trigger that very easily. Now we have 3 monsters on the field, so we're going to go for a triple attack lethal strike, getting ourselves the dub. Alright, draw for turn. Getting ourselves Stone Sweeper into the opening hand is very good for us. Getting ourselves a Vision. We're going to use Soul though. We do need to get Bone, and luckily for us we did get the resolution to get our Bone. Bone's going to trigger, get rid of our Synchron Resonator. And we're going to use these 2 guys to get our Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising's going to activate, getting us Crimson. Crimson's going to get us 1 and 3. We're going to use those monsters to get ourselves out our Red Supernova Dragon. Supernova Dragon's going to be able to get us a few interactions as well. We're going to recycle that Soul, as well as use the Vision to get the Red Zone, or get the Crimson Gaia, then search the Red Zone. Now this is pretty interesting amount of interruption with Red Supernova being able to activate twice, which we're really in a good spot for. My opponent is on Kashtira. I'm letting him do as much interaction as he can until I don't want him to anymore. Now he's also looks like he's playing the Punk engine. He's going to use his Punk monsters to continuously combo off. Now he's going to use the Z admin to get himself out a Baron. Did I interrupt it sooner? Possibly. But we're going to use that effect to bait out the Baron activation. Our monster doesn't get destroyed, but it does get negated. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to fuse from hand, getting himself out the card. Now, did I play this kind of funky? Yes. Is this going to cost us a game? I don't think so. Due to Red Supernova kind of being a wall, I think we're in a really good spot still. He's going to go into the Dragon Drive, triggering the spell. So he's still in a really good spot. And he's going to be able to go into 11 after this. A lot of good Psychic 11s are out there. For example, Psychic End Punisher. Also being the ability to search out for that Ghost Ogre was really good for him. Now he goes into the Amazing Dragon, not the 11 I was thinking of, but it does get rid of the monster. He's also going to get rid of Crimson Gaia. I'm going to take some good amount of damage here, and we'll see if we can come back. With Soul in hand, and very good hand and everything, I am not worried. He tries to maxi us on the top. We do have the Crossout in hand as well as the Called By. I feel like Crossout is better for the maxi situation here, so we're going to use that to get rid of the maxi. Now we're going to use Bone by discarding Obsessive Oovaloop. We're going to banish Red Rising to get Obsessive Oovaloop to hand. We're going to use Red Rising to get himself out using the Red Zone. Our opponent does have the Ash Blossom in hand, being able to negate that, but we do have the Called By. Gonna bait out that Ghost Ogre. Also has a Crossout, so it won't be baiting out that Ghost Ogre just yet. So we're still in a decent amount of interruption area. We'll see if we can come out clutch with this. Getting the Wandering King, Bone Archfiend's going to activate, getting ourselves the Vision. Crimson Gaia is now into the rotation. We're going to use Crimson Gaia and then activate Red Rising, or summon another Red Rising. Red Rising, we're going to get a soul. Our opponent's going to trigger that Ghost Ogre he's been saving. Still bringing back the tuner as well as getting that Vision Resonator into rotation. So we're going to get ourselves out the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, meaning that last piece of interruption my opponent has, luckily now we can negate. We're going to use Red Rising. We're going to use Obsessive Oovaloop to get it to the field as well as summon Wandering King to bring out Scarred. Next up, we're going to use Vision plus our Scarred to get out our Bestial Dispatter. Now I see a kind of big amount of damage on board, so we're going to use the Scarred effect to bring out RDA. RDA can out both of these monsters, as well as use the Crimson Gaia to bring itself right back, winning us the game. Alright, this is a really interesting hand going first. Soul is a really good opening up card. Our opponent does have the Ash Blossom for the Soul, which is not good, but we are still in a really good situation. Our opponent's going to use the effect of, or no, we're going to use the 4+3 to get out our Ancient Fairy to trigger the Lubellion. Lubellion's going to trigger, getting ourselves our Branded Regain. Now we're going to banish Ancient Pixie to try to get a card off the top of the deck to get ourselves kind of some more interaction in this duel. Our opponent does have the Imperm for the Magna Hut, but it was kind of the bait of the whole situation. Our opponent is on Tearlament, getting him access to a mill 3 at this point, which isn't really worrying for me yet. We draw the Vision Resonator, which is really good, giving us really good accessible plays. Now I don't want to give him any room for wiggle room and make his turn better by milling 3 cards. Now Vision's going to come out and we're going to use Lubellion plus Vision. A cool interaction this deck can do is bring out Chaos Angel like this. Chaos Angel effect, we're going to banish that Cashier to never see any graveyard effect coming through with it, as well as use Vision to get ourselves a Crimson Gaia for our next turn. Crimson Gaia, we're going to search for the red zone because we can search for the extender later. We're in a really good spot. Chaos Angel, that's invulnerable to everything, as well as a branded beast set, invulnerable as well. Now my opponent has the barrier statue in hand, which would be a really good going first card, but unfortunately it doesn't do what he wants in this situation. Now using that, he can special summon his monster to mill 5. He hits a fusion, he hits a spell that gets him a banished trap. 2 mills isn't that bad. He's still in a really good spot, but so are we. So this is still anybody's game. He's going to use his 3 monsters to go into his ace monster, being able to shuffle something back. He's going to choose to shuffle something as the Crimson Gaia, kind of stop our interactions from going on. Now, that Time Thief is kind of dangerous. He wants to be able to activate those effects during his next turn, so that's why I'm getting rid of them now. Also triggering, we get to get rid of the Time Thief to draw a card, and if he does summon any other monsters, we do get to special summon our branded regain monster, which is Magna Hut, right back, getting us a search. Now the card we drew is also insane, puts us in a really good spot. Our opponent chooses surrender. He just couldn't deal with the amount of gas that our board could do. Alright, this is an interesting hand. Crimson Resonator plus Wandering King is a really good open. We're going to use the Wandering King plus Crimson. This Crimson is a 3 of, but Wandering King is a 1 of, so honestly you want to use it if you can. Red Rising, we're going to use Crimson effect to special summon 3, Synchron and Soul. Soul is going to give us access to Vision. Since we have such an opening, insane hand, we're in a really good spot here to go right into our red Supernova Dragon. Now Synchron's going to get Soul right back to hand, and we're going to use Vision plus normal summon Bone Archfiend to increase / decrease his level. Now, did I misplay here? I should have used Bone's effect on something else to kind of get something else, but honestly, we'll learn from the experience here. Vision is going to trigger to get us a Crimson Gaia, as well as Red Rising is going to trigger to get us a Synchron Resonator to get ourselves another Red Rising Dragon, getting us a Soul. Now Soul is going to give us access to a 9. Synchron is going to give us access to the Vision back to hand. So we're still in a really good spot. We're going to get a lot of good interaction from this turn. Hot Red comes out to play, giving us a negate on board, which is really good for us. Branded Regain, we're going to use Obsessive Oovloop to banish that other Red Rising, to use Branded Regain to draw a card off of that, as well as use Obsessive to banish the last Red Rising to get our last piece of interaction, which is going to be Bestial Dispatch. Crimson Gaia effect, we're going to get ourselves a red zone into rotation as well, just in case when we want to use our red Supernova for 2 banishes. Our opponent is on Kashtira. He's going to get his Kashtira Birth. Felt like Kashtira was bait, so I didn't want to take the bait real easily. He has Fenrir in hand as well. He's going to use that Kashtira Birth to normal summon the Fenrir. Fenrir effect, we're going to banish everything. That feel like was a really good time to red Supernova. He will get this ad, but honestly it won't affect us as bad as him losing all of those monsters. Now Red Zone's going to activate, bringing right back the red Supernova. He's going to notice, hey, I can do that again, and he's going to surrender. Alright, this is a very good opening hand. Our opponent is on Runic. We're going to use that Ash on the Runic. We don't want to give him Runic cards added to his hand for free. Our hand is really good. We can search for Crimson as well as Bone in starting hand. Our opponent also is playing a Barrier Statue, which is unfortunate. I feel like this is a very scummy card. We're going to use Imperm on it to negate it. Our opponent then is going to reveal the Maxi, and we are going to be indeed taking that Maxi challenge because we need to do our best to end this duel right away. Bone Archfiend plus Crimson, we're going to bring ourselves out our Red Rising Dragon. Red Rising Dragon's going to bring out Crimson. Our opponent's going to bait out our first negate, which is the Freezing Curse to negate our Red Rising effect, which is fine. It is the right play. We're going to use Vision plus Red Rising to bring out our boy Scarred. We have Stone Sweeper in hand. Hopefully he doesn't draw the out, but Crimson Gaia is going to help out with that. We're going to activate Crimson Gaia. We're going to add to our hand Soul just in case. We're going to use Bone Archfiend's effect as well as Stone Sweeper's effect to get ourselves a Synchron. And we're going to use Synchron to get ourselves out a 9, which is going to be an out to the face-up monster on the field, which is really nice. And Scarred is going to come out to play. Synchron Resonator is also going to target the Soul. Should I have left the Soul in the grave? Yes, but honestly, I was kind of at least backing up. Hey, at least I have a backup play if this goes wrong. Red Dragon Archfiend comes out. Our opponent destroys his monster. And Crimson Gaia will bring us that last lethal push we needed to end that game. Alright, so this is the list in today's video. I'm playing Resonator Bestials. I'm playing as many hand traps as I possibly can to help with the current state of the meta. We're playing 2 Stone Sweepers as another search card, which is really cool that it has so much synergy with this deck. Also, a small Bestial package of 3/2 Lubellion are regained, as well as a branded beast. Cards that are really worthwhile in this deck are Red Rising. It is the huge synchro extender that enables so many different synchro plays, like the Red Supernova as well as the Hot Red Arching Abyss with Scarred. Cards that you could play different variations of is there's other traps. You can easily play a Calamity Lock with this, with the Etude of the branded, as well as you could play less Synchron Resonator, but I like to sometimes take advantage of the Red Rising second effect. I recommend this deck to anybody that really loves Synchro and is a big fan of the anime. This is a really big anime-inspired deck that works really well. You know, it's very resilient. As you can see in some of those games, my opponent completely wiped my board, but with a Bone Archfiend alone in my graveyard, I was able to flip the tides. Bone Archfiend, such an insane card, and really great that we can take advantage of it in this deck. Cards that I recommend or aren't really a big deal is I do play Calamity just because sometimes it could come up that a Calamity during your turn, just in case your opponent is playing a very aggro deck where they do a lot of stuff during your turn. Or you could play a second copy of Red Supernova, but that can be expensive. You do have the Calamity, you might as well use it. A lot of people play it in different decks. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck list. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.